I'm Lisa Sappenfield-Boyer, and I really thought I would always be a PE teacher and a coach. And then my summer softball coach, when I was a sophomore in high school, said, "You're going to do what I do someday." I didn't really understand what he did. I thought he worked like an insurance office, but actually he was the first CFP in Champaign County, which is kind of unusual because he came from a very small town in Sydney. He wasn't from Champaign-Urbana. And it's a whole different than just being a broker where you're just selling investments. There's a solution to everything. And every single person you work with has a different plan and a different puzzle, and you're trying to make it best for their situation. And as I went to go on to college, I decided that there wouldn't be any jobs for PE teachers in small school districts because everybody was 40. So then I'm like, okay, I'll get a business administration's degree, associates at Parkland. My dad had his own business. I got to play some sports at Parkland at the same time. So that was the first decision. Really enjoyed the 2-year associates, learned a lot about how to run a business. Came time to get my 4-year degree. I picked finance. I didn't want to sit and be by myself. I like numbers, but accounting, I'm thinking, not going to talk to anybody. So anyway, I just did finance. Senior year in finance, had my resumes printed. Going to start looking for jobs. Most people thought I would go work at a bank. And again, my summer softball coach, Bill Lewis, invited me to a dinner seminar where he and another lady, which was very unusual, were teaching people about money. And they basically had the dinner first, so everybody's just kind of getting to know each other. And then they gave about a 45-minute presentation on just the basics of, you know, starting a financial plan and a little bit about insurance and retirement and all that. Just, again, teaching people, and it put a lot of concern in the people. You could see they didn't know how they were going to do it or what they were going to do. And I realized also watching him as I grew up all my life how important he was to so many people, and I didn't realize what he did, that so many people valued what he had done for them. And I left that evening and I said, "You're right. This is exactly what I need to do." I think Bill's biggest input with me is he saw a lot of me in him. I see now a lot of my desires and talents were the same as his. We just had a lot of the same personality, and he saw that again as a sophomore in high school. It's just amazing to me, and I still to this day tell all young people that I do coach, if an adult tells you you'll be good at something, you should probably try it. He was also the kind of coach and person that he knew when to pat you on the back. He also knew when to kind of kick you in the butt, and I've kind of always been noted as direct. That toughness with being able to care for people, knowing that if you're direct with them in a way that will benefit them and let them grow more, is something that you don't really appreciate that skill till you get older, because a lot of times you get in trouble for it. It was 1983, and I graduated college in May. I got married in September, and then we were expecting by the end of October. So I wasn't going to be able to do all the things he wanted, and I really didn't have as much interest in the insurance. I really wanted to help people with their money. So I did get all the insurance tests. I took 13 tests in the first 4 years of my business. And so I got all the insurance license, but the investment license are the ones I was very interested in. So I was able to get all my investment license, and then by 87, I even had my CFP. I had children in 84, 86, and 89, which is the first 5 years, but in some ways that was the advantage to it because I was not pressuring myself to have done I need to do this as a full-time job. It was never going to be a full-time job. It was always going to be something that I enjoyed doing, could help people. I would be able to work part-time, have my kids part-time, and in reality, it was that. I did have a goal though, of course. I wanted 30 clients every year for the first 10 years. And again, a lot of it's because of the support I always had. I mean, my husband's probably one of the biggest reasons that I feel like I've been successful as a female advisor in this industry, especially because there's just not a lot of female that were doing what I was doing. And he was always like, anytime I would get down, I'm like, I'm not sure this is working. And he would say, well, do you like what you do? Yeah. Are you helping people? Yeah. Well, then you just need to keep doing it. So I worked out of my home for like the first year or so, and then I was offered a position in another insurance firm just to have a desk there. Didn't really work out that well. And then a friend of ours was doing our taxes, and he was a tax preparer, and he had an office building. So I rented an office in his building, which worked out great because we worked for both clients, co-clients, back and forth between the taxes and the investments. So approximately after the first 10 years of being in Oakland, and then once my children started going to school in Arcola, it was a big triangle between where we lived in the country and Oakland and Arcola. So I just knew I needed to get to Arcola where the kids were in school. And so I rented a office building in Arcola for the first 5 years. And then by 2000, I purchased the downtown building that we have now on Main Street in Arcola.